Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm very excited because at the core of my modeling, as crazy as it's gone, as far as it's gone with all these different tangents of different roads and different areas I've lived in, the very first thing I wanted to model was the Union Pacific business car fleet. And the 844, the 3985, 4014 wasn't around at the time, but now I've got 4014. So that's, if like, for example, somebody says, if you had to sell everything tomorrow, what would you want to keep? That would be it for me. But what excites me about this product is Broadway Limited is finally producing a business car, which has not been made in plastic in any sort of accuracy whatsoever. There's one really not so great attempt years back in plastic HO scale, but this car has a lot of promising features, and we're going to take a look at it. It's really a neat car at first glance, and when you really dive into the details with some industry first, some really high-end technology that you'd only expect from Broadway Limited because they're usually at the cutting edge of that type of thing in the hobby. So let's get started with our look at the Union Pacific business car. It's a pre-production sample from Broadway Limited. It's on loan here for me to take a look at before it goes and makes its round at shows and such and gets more testing. So take a look and tell me what you think. All right, this isn't going to be a review, so totally unorthodox, but we're just going to basically look at this model. My first impressions are the proportions are really, really good. They are going to be not oversized. They shouldn't have excess height or anything. Some of those antennas, the bolsters are going to be a little thick to hold the wire straight, but overall, I think the proportions are going to be very much correct for the car. And then the porch detail is really nice there on the back. If you look here, you see it's going to be really straight. I think it's going to look great. The rear lights are going to be good. The drum head's probably going to have correct proportions to it. Take a look there. Obviously what you're seeing is just an LED and the casing. The actual graphics not installed. The paint is not yellow. Obviously this is super pre-production, like the first pre-production model off the line. They do have coupler cut lever, and they're going to have MU receptacles and airline hoses down there at the end of the car. And then here's a good side profile. You got grab irons on the roof, rivet detail on the roof. You've got those modernized antennas. You're going to have separate or different drum heads options with different skews. So, you know, I think there's 4 total different options there. There'll also be just the UP shield. So really, really nice looking. The black, I know it's hard to see some of the detail, so we'll just have to trust me on the fact that I think this is going to be able to rival anything done in brass previously. All the underbody details are correct with the configurations of the different equipment. And then one thing that does can concern me on certain models but doesn't in this case, but again really hard to see in the sea of black, is the diaphragms. They're tubular but they're not oversized, and they appear to be like separate pieces, kind of like a real diaphragm, but they may be all one as far as I know. So you look at all that, and I think this is going to be a very promising project. I'm glad I pre-ordered all variations and a couple extras to get me through with some representations like Cheyenne and such. You may luck out and be able to pick one up at a retailer. Sometimes different retailers carry extra, but you know, I really think if you can pre-order, you should, just to be safe on these. But the pre-order deadline has passed, so I don't think there's any guarantees that you'll be able to. But there's a look at the top as well. So really, really nice. You know, it is plastic, but it's sturdy. It looks like it's going to roll well. These are just my initial kind of opinions of it and to give you a good look. Okay, here's where things get crazy, essentially revolutionary in my opinion. You know, previous manufacturers, even Broadway Limited, have had magnetic wands at times. These will be controlled by touch. So, like I'm touching there for the green light, and then further back, you'll touch for the red marker light. Back around this area here. I'm red-green colorblind, so I can't tell if that's going on and off, but I think it is. I can see the green better than I can see the red. The drum head rear light is up here. See, this is just crazy to me. And the ditch lights, which I don't know if these are functioning or not. Yep, they are. You touch there. Isn't that crazy? So, sorry, you can't see my finger and the ditch lights at the same time. Let me zoom out. But I'm touching back here for the ditch lights. So that is what's just crazy to me. And for the interior light, we're actually going to be touching around here. You see those turn on and off. So that's just nuts. All right, it's just crazy to me. But very, very cool, very innovative. Exactly what I kind of expect out of Broadway Limited. So very excited to see these. I figured you may want to see the model with the lights off so you can see that touch factor again, although I can't really tell where I'm touching without looking there, but there you go. But really, really cool. Seems like it works well. And they're gonna obviously have something to point out where these are, like they've provided to me. But really, really neat car, you know. I see that red coming on finally, now that we're in the dark and I can see it a little better. But yeah, it's just a really cool feature. I think the lighting on the interior is appropriate. It's, as you can tell, kind of yellow in some areas and kind of maybe a little more pure white in others. So, give you a little view of that. And then you've got your interiors that are fully detailed as well. And those are appropriate to the interior of the car from what they could find in photographs and research. One thing I didn't turn on was the drum head light, but again, keep in mind it doesn't have the actual drum head graphics in there. One thing that's probably going to be interesting balance for them is making sure it's not too bright to where it shines through. But there's at least the size of your drum head, so really, really, really cool. Now, right next to this, I have the Broadway Limited California Zephyr cars, which I know a lot of people want back, and those have a little more yellowish tint to them. But also, on certain cars, they have a little bit of shine through. So if I zoom way over here, you could probably see a little shine through on those cars. This does not have any of that. You see that on lots of different industry passenger cars, but this I'm not seeing any shine through on. So that is good as well. All right, let's turn the lights back on. The only other thing I want to look at is rolling. Seems to roll pretty well. There's no flicker in the lights. It's going to be a very light car. It's definitely not going to hold down your train, but I'm sure I don't want to do weight yet because there's no paint applied, there's no final details applied. We'll do weight on the full review and obviously go over all those features again. But in summary, essentially, very, very state-of-the-art, interesting approach to the lighting, and it's just great that they're even doing this car. I think this is really going to be a matter of chatter for the industry and the hobby and all of our fellow modelers. So overall, I was just very impressed with this business car. It rolls very well. I think the lighting is good. The touch feature is amazing. It's industry, it's just groundbreaking in the industry to be able to touch lights on in different areas. If there's something else, please let me know. But also, this isn't like a cheesy social media call to action, but please let me know in the comments for real if you see anything that sticks out, because there may be time for Broadway Limited to adjust this on the pre-production sample. There may not be, I don't know. But I've tried to put as much input, stuck my nose all the way up in this project because I wanted this to turn out well. Whether Broadway Limited, found that helpful or not, I don't know. But I've tried to give as much input as possible. So I would like to see what the comments are if you guys see anything. And, by all means, be constructive critics. See if there's anything you notice in the comments, and maybe they'll be able to take a look and change it. This is not some arrangement I have with them to do so. This is completely impromptu, but hopefully they'll be able to take a look at the comments and see if there's any improvements that are glaring that they can fix, if there are any. I didn't see any off the bat. So I had questions. They explained some of the sizes on certain bolsters for antennas and such, but other than that, I think this is a really great, solid product. I think you better find a way to get this secured and ordered, because I think once it's in, it may have like a little delayed effect, but I think it's going to end up sold out. And then they don't have an immediate run of these coming up again soon as far as the other variations. So that's another reason you may want to order, like I did, different variations so I can re-decal, at least in the meantime, like Union Pacific Cheyenne and stuff like that. But this is Kenefic, so hopefully, it's going to be different on the other business cars, so hopefully they'll release those down the line. All right, guys, thanks for watching. No run by or anything, it's pre-production, so we'll see you next time right here on the channel. Take care.